What's up, awesome YouTubers? Ryan1988 or Justin back here to do a video for you guys. Today I want to recommend three of my favorite films, three of my favorite horror movies, all coming out in the 80s or all that came out in the 80s that take place around April Fool's Day. If you consider it a holiday, I'm just going to say it's a holiday. It's not really a holiday, but the April Fool's Day. All three of these movies take place around that day, or, a holiday weekend, depending on what movie I talk about. And, I thought I would recommend these to you guys. Not a lot of people talk about movies that center around April Fool's Day. And so there's three films in my collection that are definitely April Fool's Day themed movies. And the last one I'm going to talk about is pretty much underrated. Not a lot of people talk about it, but you probably have seen the poster or the original artwork like I did for the first time, and it just grabbed my attention and I needed to see it. But I'll talk about that one last. If you guys have never seen any of these, definitely watch them today or this weekend. Kind of have a marathon, get some good food, some good drinks, and definitely watch these movies. If you guys are a fan of not only horror movies or slasher movies, some of these, really pretty much the first movie, you might consider to be a thriller. It's a really good, well, it's a great film in my opinion, but it's a really good thriller also. Good suspense in there, good build-ups, and definitely, one of the most unique slasher movies to come out from the 80s. Actually, I think pretty much all of these are unique, so enough rambling on. If you guys have never seen these, though, definitely put them on your watch list either today or this weekend. And if you guys have seen these and you know about these movies, don't leave spoilers in the comments down below because I'm not going to spoil anything. If you guys have never seen these films, go into these movies not watching the trailers, not knowing anything about them except for the covers, and have fun with them. So anyway, the first film I'm going to talk about briefly is, out of the three, the one that a lot of people talk about. It's still pretty much underrated for a certain reason, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Again, not going to spoil anything, but I'll kind of talk about why it's underrated a little bit. But the film is April Fool's Day. So I think out of the three films that I'm going to talk about, this one is pretty much well known for a lot of horror movie fans, a lot of slasher movie fans. Very debatable movie because either people love this film, like this movie, or completely hate it. I personally love the film, and me personally, I consider it a slasher movie, which some people don't. I think it's a pretty unique slasher movie. It takes a different direction and has a nice twist. In my opinion, it has a nice twist. And so I love it for that reason. But again, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. I think the reason why this movie is pretty underrated is that when the movie came out, it had a kind of misleading trailer. A lot of people saw the trailer and went to go see this movie opening weekend, and they were disappointed in this movie. So word kind of got around, and the movie bombed at the box office, didn't really make its money back. But since its release, it's built this cult following, and it does have a fan base. So out of the three films, like I said, it is underrated, but a lot of people know about this movie compared to the other films I'm going to talk about, especially the last movie. I love April Fool's Day. Again, I repeated that already. I think it's an awesome film. It's one of my favorite films to come out from the 80s, one of my favorite slasher movies, horror movies, or even a thriller. So if you like thrillers, you could still enjoy this film. Got a great cast here. You have Deborah Foreman, who plays our lead character, Muffy. She, and without giving, again, spoilers away, she's a character that has a house on this island, and she's inviting her friends to kind of visit her house during the April Fool's Day holiday weekend. A lot of pranks happen, and then, things just kind of spiral downhill as the movie goes along. But again, you have Deborah Foreman in this movie. She's our lead character from the original Valley Girl and a lot of other 80s and 90s films. You have a familiar cast here, especially a lot of people that were making movies in the 80s or were in films during the 80s. Amy Steele, who is well known for Friday the 13th Part 2. She played Jenny in that movie. She's, if not the best, one of the best final girls of that franchise and one of the best characters from the Friday the 13th franchise. She's in this film. You have her boyfriend in the movie who was in Summer School, and he's also, I believe, the same actor from Leprechaun, another holiday type of horror movie. Two actors. You have an actress and an actor from the movie Just One of the Guys. I believe that movie came out right before this one did. So it was cool to see these other two familiar faces in another 80s movie. There we go. That makes sense. A lot of familiar faces again. You have the actor who played Biff from Back to the Future. He's in this movie. So again, a great cast, great 80s cast here. A lot of familiar faces that I love. Just One of the Guys, I want to point that out. The two faces that you see not only in this movie, but in that movie, again, they kind of came out around the same time or the same year. So that was really cool to see them play different type of characters, especially the lead guy who was in that movie play almost a different type of character in this film. So, but again, familiar faces, familiar cast. I also love the setting. I think it has a great setting, very kind of eerie, isolating setting. This island takes place away from the mainland, so the only way to get to the mainland is through, a boat. And so, they're pretty much on this island alone the entire weekend. And pranks happen, and a lot of things go on. So you do have that isolating, hopefully I'm saying that right, setting, and I love that. Great score. Overall, just a great movie that I love so much. And I watch this every April Fool's Day. It is one that if you've never seen this, definitely check it out. I recommend picking up the Scream Factory release. It is a great release of the movie. This artwork, it's better in person, but it's not one of my favorites from Scream Factory. So you probably have seen this original artwork, which is what really sold me on the movie. I love this artwork. It's one of my favorite artworks that came from the 80s from a movie. So I absolutely love this artwork so much. And if you guys have, again, never seen this or don't know anything about this movie, just go into the movie not seeing a trailer. Don't watch the Going to Pieces documentary, which sadly I had watched that slasher movie documentary and then watched this movie because that documentary will spoil the ending for you. At the time when I watched it, this had already been out for I think 20 years or, almost 20 years. And so, people knew about the ending. And it has a twist, again, that's very debatable. It's the very end of the film. So you're either going to love it or not love it, or not like it. But I absolutely love this film. Again, great characters, great familiar faces, and great story all around, great suspense, great music. Just all around a great movie in my opinion. So April Fool's Day, first one to recommend. The next one is Slaughter High. Another one that people do talk about, but compared to April Fool's Day, it's kind of underrated. The plot for this one takes place around a character. I believe his name is Marty. Yeah, Marty. And he's bullied in this movie. He's not the most popular person. He's not a popular person in high school. And so there's a group of high school seniors who bully him, who tease him, and they decide to play a prank on him on April Fool's Day. An accident happens, and it jumps years later where these seniors are, going to a high school reunion at their old high school, and somebody starts planning deadly pranks on them. Is it Marty going out for revenge, or is it somebody else? Not going to say who, but Slaughter High, this is a fun, kind of over-the-top, a little bit out there 80s slasher movie that came out. I love the look of the killer, which you kind of see the mask right here. And I love the look of the killer. It's got some suspenseful moments. Not really suspenseful. It's more cheesy than anything. But it has a lot of good, eerie kind of settings. It takes place in an abandoned school, which when I first saw this movie, I'm like, do these people not realize that they are going to a reunion at the abandoned high school that they went to, and they're the only ones at that reunion? But it has a great abandoned high school setting. It takes place at night a lot, so you have like a lot of like moments where it takes place in a dark hallway. Really kind of great, eerie setting. A lot of fun kills, guys. This is a straight up slasher movie. It's not really a thriller. It's a little bit suspenseful again, but it's more of a slasher movie. Really fun one, guys. It doesn't take itself too serious. Again, great kills. Overall, you know, not the best acting, but still fun acting. And if you just want a fun, kind of goofy, eerie-ish slasher movie, Slaughter High is one to check out, guys. I don't want to really spoil too much for you. I gave you a little bit of a plot, but I think the thing that really stands out for this movie, if anything, is the kills and the look of the killer. Those are the two things that I really remember about this movie when I watch it. And I do love the film for its goofiness and its campiness and a little bit of the suspense that you get in there. But the thing that I love the most, or two of the things that I love the most, are the kills and the look of the killer. So, but yeah, Slaughter High, guys. I think Harry Manfredini. Hopefully I'm saying his last name right. I'm bad at pronouncing names. He also composed the Friday the 13th music, and you definitely hear the Friday the 13th music in here. There's some moments that you just hear it. So it's pretty much like he took that score, mixed it up a little bit to somewhat make it original, but of course used a lot of the Friday the 13th theme in here. But yeah, Slaughter High, another one to recommend, guys. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out. Again, you're not going to get something that's like, you know, like well acted or, you know, just like, you know, top, at least for me, at least, not like a top, you know, 10, you know, favorite slasher movie. But it is one that I go to every year around this time, and I personally have a fun time with it, and I overall do love this movie. So check it out. I would say it's definitely in my top 25 favorite slasher movies, so it's not a bad slasher movie. It's just really goofy, really over the top. Some of the kills are very over the top and fun, that you can't take serious. You just have to have a good time with this movie, watch it, and enjoy it. So Slaughter High, pick up this Vestron release. None of these are out of print, but I have a feeling that one day these Vestron titles will go out of print. And this has some great bonus features on it. The transfer's great. Overall, a great, cheesy, fun time from a movie that took place in the 80s, or came out in the 80s. So, Slaughter High. And the last movie, for me personally, is, out of the three, the most underrated one of the bunch, and it does have a fan base, it does have a following, but it's very little. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this. Even horror movie fans don't really talk about this movie, but you have seen the cover. You probably have seen the cover. You most likely have seen the cover. You probably haven't seen the movie, though, and that is Killer Party. I believe even on the Going to Pieces documentary, which is one of my favorite documentaries, they don't even mention this movie too much. I think you see the cover for like a split second, and that's it. So you guys have probably seen this cover. It's a classic kind of cover. I love it. It's pretty simple-ish. A lot of bright colors. You got a couple, you know, looks like they're going to the prom. And you see that skeleton hand there, which is pretty unique. If you kind of really look at the cover and notice that. It took me like a second when I first saw this movie to notice the skeleton hand, but it's one of my favorite artworks from the 80s. I love this so much. I think all three of these movies that I'm talking about have great artworks. But yeah, Killer Party, guys. You know, this movie has a lot of different subgenres within the horror movie genre in here, which I don't want to give any of that away. I'm not even going to flip over the back of this DVD because it definitely gives away part of the movie. So, you know, if you buy this DVD and you're going to watch it for the first time, you're probably going to look at the back of the movie. And it will give away a little bit, but in this review or in this video, I'm not going to talk about it. Maybe you could stream the movie this weekend, watch it, and if you love it, you can go ahead and buy it. When I saw Killer Party, I didn't know anything about this movie except for this cover. And again, quick, you know, plot about the film. It takes place on a college campus. There are these three young college women who are wanting to get into a sorority, and they have to go through pretty much, I think the word would be like hazing. They have to go through all these like different games or challenges to become part of this certain sorority. And during this time, there is a kind of, and this is not a spoiler, there's a house that has a dark history and a lot of kind of supernatural things that go on there. There's a story that takes place this, college fraternity brother who accidentally died and a prank was made on him. And so his spirit supposedly is still in that frat house. And so the very end of the film, kind of the, conclusion of the movie, or the third act of the film, they have a April Fool's Day party in this frat house, and a lot of things happen. Again, there's a mix of supernatural in here, which that's somewhat of a spoiler. It's a slasher film. It's different other things. There's a lot of really cool twists, or kind of a major twist that happens at the end of the film or towards the end of the movie during the third act that I'm not going to give away, that you will not see coming if you've never seen this. And one of the other things that I really love about this movie is the opening, because the opening is different, and I really love it. And I don't want to give too much away if you've never seen this, but I love the opening because it's just out there. It's a little over the top. There's a great song in this, April, You're No Fool, which I love. I'm not going to say where the song takes place, but it's a lot of fun. And you overall have like a fun soundtrack. Not too many songs in this, but the songs that you do remember, or the songs that you do hear, you will remember, and it will be in your head, or they will be in your head by the time you're finished with this movie. So Killer Party, again, a mix of different genres. And once again, you're not getting the best acting in this movie. It's not terrible, though. I actually think it's pretty decent acting. But you get some great practical effects. You get some great twists and turns throughout this. From the beginning towards the end, you got some great twists in this. And overall, if you just want a good time, again, some food, some drinks, and a great movie to watch either today or this weekend, you gotta watch Killer Party, guys. So it's a real shame that we have not had a Blu-ray release of this yet. Hopefully one day, fingers crossed, that either Warner Brother Archives releases a Blu-ray of this, or, some of these horror movie boutique companies release this movie, because it's well-deserved. I love this movie so much. This DVD, by the way, it looks great for what it is. I think it's definitely the best the movie's ever looked. I was really happy when this movie got announced, because I had a buddy of mine, my buddy Vance, from YouTube. I don't think he's on YouTube anymore. He might be. But Vance, buddy, if you're watching this, you're awesome, bud. He recommended this movie to me. This is one of his favorites, and he sent me a burned copy of the movie with artwork and everything. And so that was how I saw this movie for the first time, and I loved it right away. But then they announced this DVD, and I was super excited because, again, I loved it when I first saw it, and I still love it today. Just absolutely love this. So, again, if you don't want to pick up the DVD right away, maybe you can find it on Amazon Prime, some type of streaming service. But if you just want to pick up the DVD, go ahead and pick it up. I recommend this one. This is a purchase-worthy movie. Absolutely love this movie. It's a must-see. It's a must-watch. And Killer Party, I think out of the three, even though I think pretty much all three of these movies are underrated for their different reasons, this is the most underrated one. So Killer Party, absolutely loved it. Absolutely love it. And again, I recommend all three, guys. They're all great. Every one of them, for their different reasons, they're all great. And they all take place around April Fool's Day. Fools? April Fool's Day, guys. But yeah, so April Fool's Day, Slaughter High, little fun slasher movie there. All these are fun, but that's a fun one. And another fun one that doesn't take itself too serious is Killer Party. So anyway, guys, absolutely love all three. Go ahead and watch them this weekend. Watch them today. Watch them this weekend. Have a marathon. And again, grab some good food. Grab some good drinks. maybe have a virtual party with some friends if you can't get together with them since we're still in a pandemic, and watch all 3 of these. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a great weekend coming up. Happy April Fool's Day once again. And I was going to do a prank and say I'm getting rid of my physical media, but you guys know me. That's not going to happen. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. So, as always, you guys are awesome. You guys rock. In with the positive, out with the negative. Go eat some Skittles. And so much love to you all. And I'll talk to you soon. All right, guys. Bye.